Dear students, welcome to our class on JRF SRF Net 2022 Agriculture Meteorology Advances 6. In this class also we try to understand certain terms that we come across in micrometeorology. See, as far as I am concerned, I am very much convinced that the micrometeorological techniques are excellently useful in combating the negative effects of climate change as far as our agriculture is concerned. So that's why 100% from your examination point of view and some application point of view, what are the bits that you expect in JRF SRF net, particularly during in the SRF and during the interview and even net. So here these are the things that would appear in any form. Okay, so let us see what is free convection, what is forced convection. Free convection, forced convection, the differences may be asked in any form, in the form of bits. Number one, so what is free convection? See, usually land and sea breezes. Land and sea breezes is a classical example of free convection. Second thing is moving of hot air. Okay, either vertically only. That is an example of free convection. What is the forced convection? See, I am standing in front of you. If I am feeling suffocated or if I am feeling too hot, okay, I keep a fan. If I am feeling too cold, I keep some AC. So AC gives me forced convection such that I feel it comfortable. If it is too hot in this room, in our classroom, if a fan is there, the fan gives us comfort. So that's what we call forced convection. These are the basic examples, but questions may be asked in agriculture with reference to agriculture meteorology, not from the point of general physics we are discussing. We discuss from the viewpoint of agricultural meteorology only. Now, what is the free convection? First thing is the motion of a fluid. The motion of fluid is influenced by natural means. Any fluid, whether it is water or air, its motion is influenced by, okay, natural means. Motion means its movement. Now, so that means due to the differences between the density or temperature, that's what we call it as the density gradient or temperature gradient, the fluids move. Okay, now so this is free convection, the natural movement of the natural phenomena that allows the fluids to move either due to the density differences or temperature differences or density gradient, temperature gradient. We call it as the free convection. What is the forced convection? Motion of fluid is influenced by external means. Motion of the fluids is influenced by external means. For example, a fan which gives some sort of comfort when we are taking the class fan. That is the forced convection. Now, free convection, another major difference which may be asked in your exam like this. If in the free convection, if the mixing of the if the mixing of comparatively large volumes of air is caused by density differences within the air, which also results in temperature differences, then the transfer is called free convection. Density difference, temperature difference, but initially density difference, then by temperature difference is also called as free convection. Now, what is forced convection? In the atmosphere, if mixing of relatively large volumes of air is due to mechanical forces such as deflection by large scale surface irregularities and turbulent flow caused by friction at the boundary layer of the fluid, then resultant heat transfer is a forced convection. A large volume of area over a small nation, or southern India, large motion. When it is when the heat transfer occurs because of the mechanical, that means eastern Ghats or western Ghats or plains of Vindhya ranges, say for example, the plains of this plateau area. So mechanical deflection which results in the heat transfer of that particular air mass, then we call it as the forced convection. Now another major difference is the density and temperature differences trigger that one. Now in the forced convection, another major important point is the properties which influence the heat convecting ability are dynamic viscosity, heat capacity, and thermal conductivity. Once again I read, there should be some properties that are influenced by forced convection for the fluid to move. So what are those? Those are dynamic viscosity, heat capacity, and thermal conductivity or thermal diffusivity. Now the free convection, always more effective. It is let us talk of free convection. Free convection is less effective than forced convection, uncontrolled convection. Otherwise free convection natural occurs. I may be using for comfort something like this, some phenomena I may do like this. This is free, but this is forced little, so I get instantaneous. So fan more instantaneous this thing. But if I keep the windows open and then sit, so naturally the free convection effects are slow, less. They are less effective. Free convection is less effective as compared to forced convection. These are all applicable in the crop fields. How? I tell after a minute. Now next thing is the forced convection always is more effective than free convection. More heat transfer for the same temperature. So forced convection is always effective. Now the free convection occurs when a convective cycle is produced on or around a body due to the temperature difference between surface and the body and the surroundings. Once again, it occurs, free convection occurs when a convective cycle is produced on or around a body, maybe a blackboard. Free convection, it is a cycle is going on, due to the temperature difference between surface of the body and the surroundings. Because of the temperature difference of this particular board and outside air, so this is what we call it as the free convection. Free convection is less effective as compared to forced convection. Now, forced convection occurs when a fluid is forced to flow over or around a body. Forced, a fan may force fluid like air, around the body to cool or heat the body. It is done with a mechanical body, maybe a blower, maybe a fan or anything. These are the basic differences between free convection and forced convection. Now let us try to understand the differences between laminar flow and turbulent flow. These are the bits that would these are the points that would appear in your exam in any form. First let us try to understand what is laminar flow from the bits point of view. Inherently stable and predictable. Laminar flow is inherently stable and predictable. What is turbulent flow? Inherently unstable and unpredictable. Now, the laminar flow, under the laminar flow, variations in fluid properties are well defined and in observable manner. In laminar flow is usually, I have explained the theory. I don't want to go into the diagram that I have drawn. Please subscribe to our channel, Agrometeorology, Farmers and Rural Development. There, where is the laminar flow? Where is the turbulent flow? Where is the uniform layer? Those things I had explained. Here, under the laminar flow, second important point is, the first important point is under the laminar flow, inherently stable and predictable. What is turbulent flow? Inherently unstable and unpredictable. Second difference is laminar flow. Variations in the fluid properties are well defined and in observable manner. Here in the turbulent flow, variations in fluid properties are not well defined and not observable manner. Third one, the fluid under the laminar flow. Okay, in laminar flow, the fluids with high kinematic viscosity have a greater tendency to flow in a laminar way. Fluids with high kinematic viscosity have a greater tendency to flow in a laminar way. Okay, now what is in the turbulent flow? The greater the fluid viscosity and changes in velocity, the greater is the tendency for the turbulent motion in the fluid. Usually, see what is viscosity? Viscosity is the resistance offered by a fluid to flow. The resistance offered by a fluid to flow, we call it as the viscosity. Now, from the laminar and turbulent point of view, what is with reference to laminar flow and viscosity? Laminar flow and viscosity. First, the fluids with high kinematic viscosity, they have high kinematic viscosity, have a greater tendency to flow in the laminar flow. High kinematic viscosity fluids have the tendency to go in a laminar flow. So, in the turbulent flow, the greater the fluid viscosity and changes in velocity, the greater is the tendency for turbulent motion in the fluid. So that's what these are the basic differences. These may appear in any form in the bits. Let us try to understand Richardson number and Reynolds number. Richardson number and Reynolds number from the viewpoint of bits, I have explained thoroughly in the theory of micrometeorology, that those videos are available. From those videos only I have picked up some bits. Reynolds, first Richardson number. So Richardson number, what is the Richardson number? The ratio between the buoyancy forces and flow shear turn. Once again I repeat, in other words, the ratio of density gradient to velocity gradient is known as a Richardson number. Once again, for your academic interest, the ratio of density gradient to velocity gradient is known as a Richardson number. Otherwise, capital R small I, Richardson number is equal to buoyancy term by flow shear term. We call it as a Reynolds Richardson number. Now, the Richardson number is used to show dynamic stability and the formation of turbulence. So, dynamic stability of the atmosphere you wanted to know, or turbulence, what is going to happen to the atmosphere you wanted to know, we use a Richardson number. Okay, we use the Richardson number. Okay, we use it to show the dynamic stability and the formation of turbulence. How turbulence is formed, you wanted to explain with reference to atmosphere, so we use the Richardson number. Now, Richardson in these bits will come. Please listen very carefully. In unstable conditions, Richardson number is negative. Richardson number is negative under unstable condition. This bit is important. In stable conditions, Richardson number is positive. Under the neutral conditions, Richardson number is 0 or very close to 0. Now, commonly used, Richardson number is commonly used to quantify the relative importance of mechanical and convective turbulences. Mechanical, a wind system is obstructed by Eastern Ghats in Bay of Bengal, near Bay of Bengal, Eastern Ghats, eastern side of India, for example. Richardson number is used to quantify the relative importance of mechanical and convective turbulence. Now, the Richardson number is a rough measure of expected air, whether air will be stable, unstable or neutral. That is known by Richardson number. So these are the important points with reference to Richardson number, which may appear in any form in the bits. Now let us see what is the Reynolds number. Reynolds number, it is a quantitative measure of the relative importance of inertial and viscal forces. Inertial and viscal forces. In other words, Reynolds number is equal to inertial forces by viscous forces. Inertial forces by viscous forces. We call it as the Reynolds number. Now, the transition between laminar and turbulent flow take place at Reynolds numbers of the order of 10 to the power of 3 to 10 to the power of 5. See, I just would like to impress upon you that the ratio between the inertial forces inertial forces and visceral forces, we call it as the Reynolds number. Now, the transition between laminar to turbulent flow, takes place at Reynolds numbers of 10 to the power of 3 to 10 to the power of 5. These are all dimensionless numbers. Now, the criteria which determine, Reynolds number is the criteria which determine whether the flow regime will be laminar or turbulent. Laminar or turbulent, you wanted to know, you have to use a Reynolds number. So here the significance of Reynolds number includes, in practice, the disturbance of flow upstream by canopy elements creates eddies which advect downstream and boundary layer of the leaves further downstream, useful to investigate the development of laminar and turbulent flow. Here, what exactly does it mean is that Reynolds number, it is useful when wind is blowing over a forest. How much wind is dragged into the forest, or the forest is unable to take any wind. These can be estimated by Reynolds numbers, which are dimensionless. The Richardson number is useful for dynamic stability and the formation of turbulence. Dynamic stability, formation of turbulence is known from Richardson number, which is the ratio of density gradient to the velocity gradient. So these points may come in the form of bits in any way. Thanking you very much for your very patient hearing.